It happens quite often when we start feeling nervous in important situations, especially when we are about to introduce ourselves, maybe before an interview or when we have to go on stage before a presentation or while talking to the senior management. Many times, the nervousness increases to an extent where we lose control over our breath. Our heart rate increases, we begin to sweat excessively, and sometimes we end up getting so scared that we are unable to even hold a proper conversation due to uncontrollable panic and terror. Good opportunities tend to fall out of our hands. In many situations, we are unable to perform according to our capabilities. We cannot speak for ourselves properly, and we fail to understand everything. We tend to speak in a hurry or do something that we regret later. This ultimately ends with us feeling stressed out. Do you know why this happens? Why does fear, stress, anxiety, and regret in certain circumstances dominate us so much? The reason for this is the lack of self-confidence. This is a problem that makes you powerless and weakens your personality. Have you ever given this a thought? If you have to talk to a child, you do not panic at all. But if you have to talk to a company head, you begin to panic. Why does this happen? This happens because of our way of thinking. In front of children, we consider ourselves powerful, while in front of a company head, we find ourselves powerless. Believing ourselves to be weak is the real reason for our nervousness. These feelings create many problems inside us. So, if we want to remove fear, stress, anxiety, and regret, we first have to think of ourselves as powerful. Only then can we gain self-confidence, strength, and satisfaction that can strengthen our personality. Michael Jordan is a former US basketball player who has won the NBA championship for his team, Chicago Bulls, 6 times in a row, even winning the Best Player award 5 times. He comes from a very poor background and wasn't even selected for the school team. He was rejected for the lack of skill. Even after this incident, he remains strong, and what he has achieved today is history. Nowadays, people refer to his life stories and gain inspiration from it. So, what does a winner possess that makes them a winner? What makes them so powerful and confident? Is there any way we can bring in that belief and strength within ourselves as well? Many studies and research have proven that there is an easy way to boost your confidence within 2 minutes. There is a scientific method that gives you a boost immediately. The name of this amazing technique is to expand yourself. You've often seen how a player celebrates after winning. They open up their arms to form a shape like X. This is called a universal victory pose, which is a natural reaction. It doesn't really matter where the person is from or which team, state, region or country he belongs to. When experiencing victory, he will strike the same pose naturally. Even athletes who are visually impaired strike the same pose after winning. Why? There are scientific reasons behind this. When we feel confident and strong, our body wants to expand itself. We want to take up more space. You might have noticed that when a person is stressed or disturbed, or whenever he feels any weakness, he wants to restrict himself to minimum space. He wants to shrink his body. This is not just with human beings. Often, you may have seen this in animals as well. When animals want to show themselves as strong, they extend their body. Many animals also do this for their own safety in a difficult situation. On the other hand, if they consider themselves weak, they try to restrict their body. This kind of powerlessness does not only affect the body language, but also the way of talking. When confidence is low, people start talking quickly because they feel they are wasting the other's time. they assume that the other person may not like their point of view, so they want to finish their side of the communication quickly. When they show these mistakes, the other person cannot understand their point. On the other hand, confident people talk comfortably and take necessary pauses so that the other person can understand their point in the right way. Their power is visible in their words. If we understand it in a scientific way, it becomes very clear. Our subconscious mind has great control over our body language. After experiencing any nervousness, it can be seen in our body language, even before thinking about it in our conscious mind. We cannot hide our feelings even if we want to. Uncomfortable gestures show our nervousness, and we continue to make mistakes. It results in sweating, uncontrolled hand movements, stammering, and more. We often talk about the need of changing our thoughts to increase self-confidence. That is, if we keep positive thinking, then we feel the power from inside. But through research and studies, it has been discovered that we can experiment with it in the opposite way as well. This means that we can change our body language by changing our emotions and feelings too. As a general technique, if you take up power poses for 2 minutes, it can increase your confidence immediately. Some special power poses such as the victory pose, Superman pose, sitting with open hands, or sitting while keeping hands folded behind the head takes up more space. This 2-minute exercise is very effective for you. By doing this, you can experience confidence and strength quickly. Research and studies from Harvard University, Oregon University, Texas University, and many other places have shown that many powerful and effective leaders have raised their confidence in this manner. They have found similar hormone levels in this process. By doing so, testosterone levels and cortisol levels were found at a lower level in their hormones. The high level of testosterone in both men and women causes the feeling of increased confidence, while the lower level of cortisol reduces anxiety and enables the person to deal with stress. This implies if you have balanced out the levels of these hormones, then biologically you lead a more assertive, confident, and comfortable life. In this manner, you will be less responsive to stress and will be able to handle stressful situations better. To be confident, you have to effectively deal with stress. Often our heartbeats get on the stage or before we enter a cabin for an interview. We then start to calm ourselves down. We have a strong negative emotion inside which we try to suppress as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, we do not get the right advice in such conditions. Advice from others usually ranges from asking a person to stay calm, come out of stress, stay relaxed, everything will be fine. But there is no actual use of all this advice because at that point in time, one's mental state makes it difficult to reduce stress and restlessness. There is a way in which you can avoid the high negative energy. This method is to convert the high negative energy into strong positive energy. This requires you to speak words of encouragement when in nervous or worrisome situations. So, instead of telling yourself to stay calm, don't strain yourself. Keep calm. Tell yourself, I am feeling very excited. Something great is going to happen with me. I can feel the positive energy transmitting inside me. By doing so, we will feel positive energy, which will suppress negative emotions. Our inner positive feelings will give us positive results. So now you know this easy method to feel more confident. If you are stressed or restless in an important situation, take any high power pose for just 2 minutes. Of course, you have to take care of the place and time because you cannot take a power pose just about anywhere. Take this pose when you are alone, before you have to face the important situation. These common ways will increase your confidence and strength. Second, convert your negative energy into a strong, positive energy. Make yourself confident with positive thoughts. These two general techniques will take you ahead. With continuous practice, you will easily eliminate your weaknesses and move towards success.